Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Computer Applications at Ozarka College. Today what I'd like to do is kind of give you a little bit of an introduction to this course. Specifically, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and a little bit about the course. Specifically, I'm going to go over the course syllabus with you and the activities page. So I'm going to try not to make this too long of a video. So I'm just going to hit on the high points. But, of course, if you have any questions, you can ask those at any time, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. First thing is, some of you already know me and some of you probably don't. So, again, my name is Stephen Baltz. I am a business instructor here at Ozarka College on the Mountain View campus, and I teach mostly online courses. Every once in a while, I'll teach a class on the Mountain View campus. But I've taught this particular computer applications course for just about every semester of the 26 years I've been here at Ozarka. So I'm very familiar with the course and what the requirements are and the outcomes and so forth. And I really enjoy teaching this class. It's a hands-on class that I think you'll really get a lot out of. It'll help you in some of your other classes where you have to do reports and papers and presentations and so forth. It will also help you in your career. And I'll get a little bit more in depth into that when we look at the course syllabus in a minute. But if you have any questions about me or about this course, just let me know and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Hopefully some of those questions will be answered as I go over the course syllabus in just a minute. That's really the first thing I want to do. So when we first go into My Ozarka and click on the link for this particular course, this introductory page that you're seeing right here is what you'll see on your end. And of course at the very top it'll have information about me and about the course. And it will have any due dates that are coming up on the right hand side of the page. And then any announcements that I need to post during this semester, any important information that I need to share with the entire class, I will either send a course mail or post an announcement, sometimes both. So when you first log into My Ozarka and you click on the link for this course, always kind of pay attention to the announcements and the due dates and just kind of remind yourself of things that are going on in the class, things that are coming up due, and so forth. A lot of times I'll use the announcements page here to post reminders of things that are coming up due, just to kind of keep you on the right track. All right, so let's go ahead and click on this. You'll notice there are some links on the left-hand side of the page here that allow you to navigate to various parts of the course website. And the very first thing I want us to look at is the syllabus. So let's go ahead and click on syllabus there. And at the very top of the syllabus, it has information about this course. It has the start and the start date for the course and the end date up here. It has information about me, my phone number, my email address, and so forth, my office hours. Now, those of you that are on the Mountain View campus, feel free to come by and see me in person if you want to. But for most of you in this class, since you're on other campuses or you're not close to Mountain View, the best way probably for you to contact me about this course is using course mail over here on the left-hand side. And so use course mail when you need to contact me, and I'm really good about getting back to you right away. That's probably the most effective method for contacting me. If you have a question about this particular course, if you send an email to my general Ozarka email down here, sometimes I may not, depending on what email you use to send me a mail through my Ozarka email, it may or may not have your name on it on the email, and it's probably not going to have information about what course it pertains to. So if you have a question about this particular course, it's best to use course mail, because then I know exactly what course it pertains to, who you are, who's sending the email, and then I'm going to be able to more effectively and efficiently get back to you with your answers to your questions and so forth. Okay? All right. So a little bit further down on the course syllabus, there are 3 items there: course description, rationale, and outcomes. Those are all very closely linked together, so I'm going to kind of talk about them all together at one time just to save some time. Basically, in this course, we're going to be learning through hands-on practice. We're going to be learning how to use Microsoft Office. And Microsoft Office is the most commonly used program in businesses today. So your employer, once you start your career, you're probably going to be using Microsoft Office for your job. And then also, Microsoft Office is used by other instructors in other classes for completing things like research papers and presentations and so forth. And so this course is designed to kind of be an introduction to Microsoft Office and just kind of get you on the right track as far as being able to complete the kinds of documents and other things that you'll be creating in your other classes, and then also when you get out in the workplace. Okay? So now specifically the 3 programs that we're going to learn as part of Microsoft Office will be Microsoft Word, which is a word processing program, Microsoft Excel, which is a spreadsheet program, and then Microsoft PowerPoint, which is a presentation graphics program. So we'll take about a third of the semester to cover each one of those programs. All right? And the textbook that we need for this class is called Microsoft Office 365 and Office 2021 Introductory. And it shows the ISBN number there. This is what it looks like. I know it shows a picture on the syllabus as well, but I just thought I'd show you a little bit larger format so you can see it. But basically, when you go to purchase your textbook for this course, whether you buy it in the college bookstore or somewhere else, just make sure you verify the ISBN number right here. Make sure you're getting the correct textbook. Also, it's important to get your textbook as quickly as possible, preferably sometime during the first week of class. So don't wait until the second or third week to get your book, because then you're going to miss the first few sets of activities. So go ahead and get your book as soon as possible so that you can get started on the activities for this class. Now, in addition to the textbook, since this is a course where we're learning how to use software, specifically Microsoft Office, you're going to need to have Microsoft Office accessible to you. Now, there is a link, and I'll show it to you in just a little bit. There's a link in my Ozarka that allows you to download for free as a student. You can download Office 365, which will include all the programs that we will be using in this course. All right? That's something else that you'll need to do the first week of class. Make sure that you don't wait too late to get started on trying to download and install the software, because for one thing, you may run into issues, technical issues that have to be worked out. And so make sure that you get started on downloading that software and installing it as soon as possible. All right, and again, I'll show you the link to that in just a minute. And then, of course, since this is a online class, you'll need a reliable internet connection. Either if you have one at home, then you can use that. If you don't have that at home, then you'll have to use the computers on campus to do your work for this class, and you'll have to, since the campus is not open 24/7, you'll have to make sure that you come and work on your materials for this course during office hours, when the campus is open. Okay? All right. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. All right. The next item here is methods of instruction. I'm just going to let you read through that. The main way that we're going to learn in this class is through hands-on use of the software. There will be some other things that you'll also learn, some concepts and terms and so forth. But mostly what we're going to be doing is hands-on use of the software. But just read through that. To save time, I'm not going to go over each one of these things with you on the syllabus. I'm just going to kind of tell you the things that I want you to make sure that you understand from the syllabus. All right, evaluation procedures. your grade for this class will be comprised of 4 things. You'll have assignments, you'll have objective test, you'll have production exams, and then you'll have a final production exam. And it shows, how each one of those as a percentage is a portion of your final course grade. And just again, to save some time, I'm not going to go into each one of those. Just read through that very carefully, that section, evaluation procedures on the syllabus, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have on that. I've also got an AI policy here, or artificial intelligence policy. That's something that's kind of new for this year. I'd like you to read through that as well. All right. Next item is grading scale. This is just a standard grading scale that you see in most classes. So this is how your grade is going to be determined at the end of the semester, whatever your percentage grade is. I'm just going to basically put in whatever the corresponding letter grade is for your percentage grade. Okay. And next item is makeup policy. I'm just going to let you read through that. It's pretty well self-explanatory. If you have any questions about it, just let me know. And then one other item that I do want to hit on, that I do want you to make sure you read through carefully, is academic integrity. For this course, the main problems I've had in the past is where students will get together and each do half of the work and then share the other half with another student. That goes against the academic integrity policy. That is a violation, and there will be ramifications for that. And it explains all that in the in that academic integrity section. And just don't share work. Go ahead and make sure you're doing all your own work. It's not worth getting in trouble and having to redo assignments and get zeros on assignments. The work for this class is not that difficult, so just make sure you're doing your own work, and everything will be fine there. And just let me know if you have questions about that policy, the academic integrity policy. The rest of the course syllabus, I'm just going to let you read through. Those are going to be kind of common among all your courses that you take this semester. Those last several items there, just to save some time, I'm just going to let you read through that. So again, this first week of class, I want you to carefully read through this course syllabus, and I just kind of hit on the high points, but you need to carefully read it, because this is basically like a roadmap for everything we're going to do during the course of this semester. This syllabus outlines, all the rules and the guidelines that we're going to need to follow as we go through the semester. All right? And okay, so that's the course syllabus. Now, one of the probably the most common link that you'll use over here on the left-hand side of the page is the activities link. So let's go ahead and click on activities. Let me show you that a little bit. This activities link, when you click on it, it just shows the whole semester organized by week. So it starts with week 1, and if you scroll down, it goes all the way down to week 17, which is when we'll do our final exam for this course. All right? And under week 1, there are 3 things there that I want to cover very quickly here. The Getting Started link is basically where I've included several links to important information that I want you to look at this first week of the semester. So there's a course schedule there. There's a syllabus, which we already looked at. This is just a link to that same syllabus. There's a link to the textbook information for this course that you'll want to make sure you look at before you go and buy your textbook. There's the link that I was talking about earlier where you can download Office 365. And then there's a link to the textbook website. Okay? So this Getting Started page just basically, or Getting Started activity, there's nothing to turn in for this one. It's just I want you to make sure that you look through all these important items for this course during the first week of the semester. All right, let's go back to activities. Now, there's also under week 1, there's an Introduce Yourself activity. What that is, let's go ahead and click on it. What this is I have basically used it as a way to introduce myself to the class, share some information about me. And then what I want you to do for this particular activity is click the reply button and type in a short introduction about yourself. Of course, your name, where you're from, maybe what your course of study is, your major, maybe what courses you're taking this semester, maybe tell me a little bit about your hobbies and your interest. Also, you might want to tell me, what you hope to get out of this class, how you think it will benefit you. All right? And then once you reply, then that first week of class, I will also be reading those and then replying to your post. As we go through and kind of learn a little bit about each other, and that's really the whole purpose of this introduce yourself discussion item, is to kind of get to know each other a little bit, because we're not seeing each other in a classroom, because this is an online class. This is kind of the next best way to kind of get to know each other a little bit before we get really started in the course activities. Okay, so and as we go through this discussion, I will also share a little bit more information about myself as well. All right, and so that's really the as far as the first week, as far as what you actually have to turn in and submit for a grade. That's really the only thing for week 1, is that introduce yourself discussion. Okay, now just like there's I showed you a link to be able to download Office 365 and on the Getting Started page. I've also provided that link just for convenience purposes under week 1. So when you click on that, it'll give you instructions on how, and there's also videos on how to download the software for this class, which is Microsoft Office 365. Just make sure you're downloading the correct software, and then you'll be able, once you have the software and your textbook, then you'll be able to get started on the first set of chapter activities or textbook activities. And that first set of textbook activities are due under week 2. So you'll have several things you'll do under week 2. You'll have 3 assignments in Word Module 1, and then you'll have an objective test that you'll take for that same module. And then I've also provided a Word Module 1 help discussion, and that is basically just a discussion board where you can ask questions if you have questions as you're working through Word Module 1. All right? And so just kind of go through that activities page. Make sure this first week of class that you're getting these activities completed, that you're getting the software downloaded and getting the introduce yourself discussion done and getting the syllabus read and understood. And like I said, if you have any questions about that, just let me know. All right. And also, again, if you have any questions during the semester, use course mail over here on the left-hand side, and you just click compose up here to write me a message. When you write a message to me, make sure that you're very specific on what your question is or what your statement is that you need to share with me. The more specific you are, the more effective and efficiently I'm going to be able to get back to your message, and it's going to benefit you more, if we don't have to go back and forth several times to get down to what your real question is. So be very, very specific. Also, make sure that you use correct grammar and spelling. Don't use the shortened words and abbreviations like you would on a text message. Make sure that it's professional, that you check your grammar and spelling, and again, that's going to allow me to get back to you much more effectively and in a more timely manner. Okay, and that's really all I wanted to cover in this first video. So as you're kind of working through the activities for this first week and Like I said, as you're reading through the course syllabus and downloading the software and so forth and getting your textbook, if you have any questions at all, just let me know. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. I'm really looking forward to teaching this class. I'm really looking forward to having each of you in class, and I hope you'll enjoy the class. I think you will. And everybody have a great semester. I will talk to you next time. Thank you.